and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be all of my favorite books that I read in 2020. So I have 14 books here. I know, I have an odd number, I'm sorry. Instead of 15, I made 14 books that I really enjoyed this year and that I just wanted to talk about. I do actually have my absolute favorite book of the year. It might not be a surprise at all to any of you guys that actually watch my channel a lot. We'll get there. So none of these are in order besides the first one. So we're just gonna start right at the beginning. So, first book I'm going to talk about is The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. I finally read this book this year, or technically last year, and I loved it. I actually physically read this, and I think I read it with my friend Kayla, Mercury Wasted, here on YouTube. I will link her channel down below. I had such a fun time reading this, and it was such a fun experience. I remember when I read it, I actually did a reading vlog for it, so I know I did a couple reading vlogs for all of these books, so I'll link them up in the cards if I can find them. I really did love this. I am trying to get through the second book right now, but it is a little bit harder to try and get myself back in that world just because it's been a little while. It was probably, I want to say it was probably the beginning of January, February when I first read it. It was definitely the beginning of 2020 when I read it, but I loved it. I love Cardin and Jude. I definitely want to reread it at some point just because I miss being in that world and I kind of want a refresh of what everything was. The next one is Dark Academia book, which was Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. I kind of went over this in my one video that I just filmed. I'm already blanking. But I talked about it in that book. I do like it. I do forget a little bit of what it was about, but it was really fun when I read it. It's kind of what made me realize I like Dark Academia. So I think that deserves to kind of be on my favorites of the year. Same with The Catherine House by Elizabeth Thomas. I really enjoyed that because it's also a Dark Academia, which also kind of helped me realize I like Dark Academia. So I read those two kind of right after one another, so they're kind of just blending into one another, but I did really enjoy my time. They were really fun and had a lot of fun elements to it, spooky elements, thrillery and fantasy. It was just all jam-packed into one and it was really fun and I really did enjoy my time. The next one is All the Ugly and Wonderful Things. As you guys know, I did actually do a reading vlog for this, I think. It was a reading vlog that I just talked about it with, and this surprised me. I went into this not knowing anything about it and that it was just kind of really heartbreaking, and I suggest if you read this, just go into it blank because it just takes you on a fucking ride. It was absolutely amazing. I love this book so much. I actually wanted a tattoo for this book. I don't know if I'm going to do that anymore just because I'm not 100% sure, but I do love this book. I definitely want to reread it at some point. I just read it a couple months ago and I really enjoyed my time reading it. It just gave you a lot of emotions and it just made you really just get out of reality and just go into that world, and it was just crazy. I can still see it in my head right now, and it's just, that book brought me so much joy and sadness, but just so many emotions that I really enjoyed having. The next one was actually my first arc of 2020, and that is You Are Not Alone by Gur Hendricks and Sarah Pekkanen. You guys know in 2019 they were my top tier favorite thriller writers. They don't typically write any more books that I've seen coming out in 2021. I don't know if they're writing anything together. I looked in their Goodreads and I haven't seen anything, but I really did enjoy this. It's about two sisters, or a sister, again blanking, and their writing is what does it for me. It's just, they have those plot twists that you just don't see coming, at least for me. I just don't see them coming, and I really do enjoy their writing, and so I really did like this book, and I definitely want to reread it at some point. I want to reread all of these at some point. I want 2021 to be the year of me rereading my favorite books, just so I know that they're still my favorites and just enjoy reading again, because I miss that feeling of being so excited to read something. I have not felt that since 2017 when I first started BookTube, and I hate that because I do miss reading so much and having that excitement to come home from work and just read and not do anything else. I just miss spending my weekend just reading. So that was another one that I really enjoyed. Next one, I think I read this twice in 2020, and that is My Favorite Housemaid Stand by Christina Lauren. Yeah, this book, I fucking love this book. I want to reread this within the next month or two. It was really fun. It's about this girl and she has her coworkers. They have this ball. I always want to say it's a ball. It's something's coming up at their work and they all need dates, and this one girl is on a dating app and they all kind of make dating apps, but this girl makes the girl makes a dating app and is kind of catfishing as somebody else. Her one coworker ends up messaging her on there, not realizing it's her, and they kind of have a thing, and then it comes out that it was her, and it was really cute. It was friends to lovers romance, and usually I'm not one for that. I don't typically read those type of books, but I think Christina Lauren in this book really did it well, and I really loved it. So definitely pick it up if you want anything to read by Christina Lauren. You don't know where to begin, definitely start with that one. I think it's one of their best romances that they've ever written. The next one, oh my god, I love this and I want to reread this again. I think I read this twice in 2020, and that was The Hating Game by Sally Thorn. This is all over booktube, and it has every reason to be because it is the best fucking romance I've ever read. It is like the best enemies to lovers fucking office romance. Oh, I love it. I just want that to happen to me. I just love it so much. It made me so happy, and I love Josh, and I want to say her name is Lucy. I could be completely wrong. I'm just gonna call her Shortcake because that's what he calls her, and I just love it. I just love this book so much. It's brought me absolute happiness, and the romance that I want in my life is the romance in that book, so God give it to me. Next one is a fantasy, and that is A Court of Thorn and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. I know, surprising, scandalous, I know. Yeah, I tried this book out, I want to say back in October, maybe. I'm currently on the second book, and I am struggling so much to get through it. I really want to DNF it so badly, but I'm just trying to get through to it. The first book was pretty good, but now that I'm kind of looking back at it, I don't know if it should be on this list. I'm kind of conflicted. So this one's kind of on my favorites, kind of not on my favorites, just because when I think back to how the book was written and how the characters were, it was really abusive. I don't know. It was really fun, like the atmosphere and the world building and everything that took place in it, but the romance, I don't remember it happening, and now all of a sudden in the second book, I'm sorry, this is a spoiler, I'll put it up on the screen, now all of a sudden they're together and I don't remember that happening, so yeah. Next, I also got into a bunch of historical romances this year, which was definitely really new for me. I branched out a lot in 2020 with my reading taste, and that being The Dutchess Deal was one of my favorites. I remember swooning over this book and just absolutely loving it. I devoured it basically in a couple days, and Tessa Dare is definitely one of my go-to historical romance authors just because I love her writing style and just how her characters are. I actually finished the Girl Meets Duke series, and a new one's coming out this year, so I'm definitely excited to get that one because it focuses on each friend in it, and it's about a wounded war hero, I want to say he is, and he just kind of was closed off with women, and he just did not allow himself to love, and it was so cute. So much growth happened, and I really did enjoy my time. I definitely want to reread that. Obviously I want to reread all of these. The next one that also surprised me, I've wanted to pick this up for a while, and I never did because it just didn't seem like I was gonna like it. And then I was so stupid and wrong, and that is The Kiss Quotient by Helen Huang. Oh my god, I love this. I absolutely devoured this when I was at work. It made work so fucking fun. I had so much fun reading this. It was really cute, and I really liked I want to say autism rep. I'm pretty sure it's autism rep. They're on the spectrum. One of the characters on the spectrum, and she doesn't know how to have sex. And so basically she hires Michael, who is a sex worker, I want to say. I forget what the actual word is called, but he is just trying to help her feel more comfortable and confident in herself because she kind of just goes into a full-blown panic attack whenever she tries to have sex with anybody, and she's just really unsure, and her growth towards the end was absolutely amazing. The writing in this was amazing. You could physically read this, you could listen to it in audio, and it still works well either way. I really did enjoy it, and I also did read the second book. It wasn't my favorite. The first one was definitely my favorite though. Next one, Penelope Douglas was one of my favorite authors in 2020. Towards the end of 2019, I remember December 2019, I have a reading blog for it where I read Punk 57, and then that's where my love for Penelope Douglas just took off. It literally took off fucking flying through the sky in 2020. I literally read almost all of her books. I'm almost finished all of her backlists. I still have a couple more. I have another series that I have to read. I loved Birthday Girl. It's about this girl named Jordan and Pike. I actually just reread it a couple days ago, and it's about a girl named Jordan and Pike. Jordan is dating this guy. He's a piece of shit. We don't like him. We don't stand him. We stand Pike and Jordan. So they end up having to move into her boyfriend's dad's house, and lo and behold, it's Pike, and they actually just had met at a movie theater, and he doesn't know that that's her boyfriend's son's girlfriend. I don't know if I just said that right. They kind of just fall in love, and it was just so good. It was really good. It definitely isn't my top favorite of Penelope Douglas, but you guys will see. But I did love it. I really do love Penelope Douglas. If you take anything from me, if you know me personally, you guys know that Penelope Douglas is my top favorite author. No one compares to her. No one compares to her writing. I'm just so used to her writing at this point that there's just no getting out of the funk of my love for Penelope Douglas. I love her so fucking much. By far my #1 favorite author. Nobody compares. Next is also a graphic novel, and this is Heartstopper Volume 3. I actually am caught up on the series now. I already was, but I love the Heartstopper series. It is really just heartwarming, heartbreaking, and very eye-opening, and good LGBT rep. It is about these two guys, and one of them is gay and one of them is bi, I'm pretty sure. And it's just them kind of trying to find themselves, and it just really touches on important topics in relationships and stuff like that, and you struggling with your own stuff in a relationship. And this one definitely actually did kind of give me a tearjerker a little bit. It was really cute, and I'm really excited for the 4th one to come out. I think it's coming out this year. I could be wrong, but I'm really excited for when it does come out because I just loved it. And then the next one was a surprise. I got this from ALA, and I did not expect myself to like it as much as I did, but holy shit, did I love it. And I'm really happy that I read this. And that is The Patient by Jasper Dewitt. Oh my god, this is like a crazy thriller. The cover probably does not show much, but seriously, just fucking read it. Gabby Reed's talked about it, and I don't think I've seen anybody else really talk about it besides her. And if you know Gabby, she loves her thriller and horror, and she loved this book. So if you take anything from this, go read it because it was really good. It's about this guy who is like a doctor, is a new doctor at this like mental hospital, I want to say. And there's this kid that's been there basically his entire life. Nobody can help him, and whoever tries to help him, they either die, commit suicide, or whatever happens. Bad things happen to basically anybody that tries to help him. And so they all just kind of leave him alone, let him live there. And this guy literally just won't let it go. He just tries to dive in deep into his head, find out why he's there, and shit just goes fucking down. It is so good. So good. And then my top favorite book of 2020. You guys are not gonna be surprised. That is Credence by Penelope Douglas. I've read this twice already. I already want to read it again. I just read it a couple days ago. I already want to read it again. You guys know my love for this book. There is just no words for my love for this book. I know I was so scared going into it. I actually did a whole reading vlog dedicated to just reading it and getting my reactions because I knew I was gonna love it. And this is what made me love Penelope Douglas so much more, was this book. I also learned from this book that I like reverse harem, so that's also fun that I found that out in like the beginning of this year, ending of last year. So I am definitely going to be picking up some more reverse harem books because of Penelope Douglas, and I just love this book. So if you don't know what it's about this girl. Her parents have just died, and she's sent to go live with her uncle.
Her step-uncle.
She doesn't really know him. Her parents were really famous. They really didn't give a shit about her. And it's just a lot of grief and her trying to grow, and her growth at the end of this book is amazing also. Can I just say that now? I really loved how this book went. And so after she moves in with her step-uncle, because she's 17, she can't live on her own. Basically they live in Colorado in like the mountains, in the woods, and they live off the land. And I never thought I would like that in a book, but I really did. There's three cousins that live there as well, his sons. Caleb, Noah, 3 sons? No, there's 2. Jake, Noah, and Caleb. And Noah and Caleb are the sons, and Jake is the step-uncle. And then our main character goes and lives there with them, and she's really just like not wanting to be there. She wants to leave, and romance happens. Just gonna give you that with all of them. So I really loved it. Oh, just the ending. I really wish this was not a standalone. Like, if I could just, Penelope Douglas, can you make it not a standalone, please? Just please make it a series. I really need more of them. I just need more. Like, I just can never get enough of this book. It absolutely means the world to me. And I'm just gonna shut up now because I can literally just go on a tangent about this book. Like, if you guys ever ask me about a book, I will most likely recommend you this book. It's just my favorite. I'm sorry. Those were my favorite books of 2020. I think I had a pretty good reading year. I read about like 62 books, and about 20 of them were my favorite. No, 15 about 14, 15 were my favorites. I definitely have more favorites than others, but I really did like my reading year. I think I found a bunch of new books and a bunch of new authors that I love, especially Penelope Douglas. I'm just gonna say that again. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, give it a big like, subscribe down below, join the family, and don't forget to hit the bell notification so you don't miss when I upload, and I will see you on my next video. Bye guys.